What's up, everyone? Lou here. Today I'm going to be talking about kind of destruction and things that have changed in Mythic Plus ever since the Inferno talent got its nerf. So now after 5 targets, you generate less shards. And I'll just be talking about the playstyle. I'll also be going over some Covenant things. So, starting off here. Playstyle, not much has changed. Like, Rain of Fire is still going to be your main spender ability. However, getting shards is going to be a bit different. So, as the tank is pulling, you want to be casting immolates on multiple targets. Make sure it's the target that your tank hits so you don't pull aggro. But once your tank hits it, you should be able to pull immolate and it'll be fine. So you're just putting immolate up on as many targets as you can until things are kind of grouped up, and then once things are grouped up, then you can pop your cooldowns. So, as your Havoc comes up, you want to be casting your conflags, and basically you have to generate shards on your own, because after this nerf, you're not going to be shard capped constantly anymore. So you actually have to use your conflagrates. You have to use some incinerate sometimes. You want to be using your Havoc on cooldown. And you just want to, when you have time, put immolate on your big targets and just continue casting. So the nerf was noticeable. You are definitely doing less AoE than before. You don't have as many shards. But, I mean, the spec is still really, really strong. And it's still really good. But it's pretty simple. You just have to actually cast, your abilities now rather than just Rain of Fire spam. So you want to make sure you're using your conflag charges, making sure that you're using immolates on targets that are going to live for a long time, and using your Havoc on cooldown. So it's pretty simple. You can see I'm pretty much sustaining just on 3 targets here, right? 20k on 3 targets. So that's that. Other than that, not too much changes. Always using Soul Conduit. Always still using Inferno. On weeks like this week is Explosive Week, you can swap to Shadowburn instead of Reverse Entropy if your group is struggling to kill orbs. In Pugs, I would actually recommend using this because some Pugs just ignore the orbs. If you do have a group that has like a dedicated orb killer, like your healer, or like a hunter, or melee or something, you don't really need to take Shadowburn. But if you are full pugging, I'd say definitely take it just to be safe. It gets pretty good value on explosive weeks. So next let's talk conduits or covenants. So for a long time, Dreamweaver has been kind of the default, and it still is the default. It's still really strong. However, since the Unity Legendary has been introduced, we are definitely getting more value out of other covenants. So, as you can see, this was a 22 hauls that I did. And Pending Catastrophe was doing the same as my Chaos Bolt. It probably could have done more if we pulled a little bit more. But Impending Catastrophe, really strong. Venthyr is very, very good for destro. You also get the T, so you get, extra 3% haste or intellect or crit or whatever, which is really also nice to have. So Venthyr, really, really strong. I'm always playing Venthyr in Halls of Atonement, and I've been also playing it in Sanguine Depths. I haven't tried it in other keys. I've been definitely just sticking with Night Fae. However, if you do have Venthyr leveled up and your group needs a Venthyr, swapping to it is definitely viable. Does a ton of damage. Pretty good utility. Next is, we'll talk about something that's kind of come up recently that I haven't gotten a chance to play with yet, but I've seen a lot of other Warlocks trying it out, has been Kyrian. And so the reason why Kyrian is now making such a huge comeback, I would say, is because of the Unity buff. So basically your Scouring Tide generates you full 5 shards and gives you increased critical strike chance for 8 seconds if you kill the mob that you put it on. And so in Mythic Plus, obviously, you can refresh this buff constantly. So you're able to get tons of crit and a lot of soul shards back on multiple times in the pack. So I am going to be leveling Kyrian. I'm going to be trying this out eventually. But yeah, it looks pretty promising. The playstyle is a little bit different than before, but it is definitely a viable option. However, if you don't really care to swap Covenants or level up or now or whatever, you can just stick Dreamweaver in Night Fae. Kyrian is also pretty strong with First Strike, but Night Fae is still pretty good. But there is those options there if you want to change. I do recommend at least leveling up venthyr just to have that option in halls, just because Impending Catastrophe is very, very strong there. But yeah, that's kind of a quick update on how things are evolving basically in the Mythic Plus meta. Kind of similar talent setup and stuff. But if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. What have you been playing? Have you tested out Kyrian? Have you tested out venthyr? What are your results? And yeah, looking forward to hear from you all. Thanks for watching.